dealing with male loneliness. This is an epidemic that's actually getting more and more worse. A lot of men are becoming more isolated. They're not interacting with each other. They're not even dating. And there's tons of factors that come into play. I'm not going to cover all of them. I'm going to just focus on the main couple ones, especially because I wanted it to be relatable to you guys. So I'm going to try giving you guys some personal backstory of what I experienced, because at one certain point, eventually I do assume there'll be points of my life where I will be alone and I'm going to experience this loneliness again. And this is actually a good thing, good and bad, essentially, is because when you're alone, that's when you grow the most, and that's when you learn a lot about yourself. You learn about life experiences, what you want out of this life. There's so many things that you can take from being alone, but then again, it eats you up inside. Honestly, just talking about it, it's actually making me think back about, hey, it sucks when you're alone. You have nobody there to talk to you, or nobody there to just hey, encourage you to do a little bit better. But at the end of the day, you have to be self-reliant. You have to be driven, motivated, and determined to go out there and just overcome it, because the vast majority of people, they're always keeping their mind occupied, busy, or they're hanging out with other people, and they're not comfortable with being by themselves, which I think, honestly, you need to get really comfortable by being by yourself. It's going to suck at times. It's not going to be the best feeling ever, but it is overcomeable. You can learn how to deal with it. And the reason I know that there'll be points where you're alone and all that is because I was in a 5-year relationship that I felt like I didn't feel alone at all. And then when that relationship ended, I didn't have anybody to talk to, nobody to be like, hey, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's go watch a movie, let's go eat, let's go do this activity. And essentially, you can do all these things by yourself, and I recommend you guys learn how to do it by yourself. It's going to be one of the most difficult things to ever do, but it is possible. It's something that you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's an awkward saying, but it is possible to do that. So after that 5-year relationship ended, I was purely alone, honestly. I didn't have that many friends to talk to and all that. Just because of that relationship, I cut off a lot of my friends, which honestly I shouldn't have done that, but it's something that you learn as you go. And there was a period that I just didn't have anybody to talk to, nobody to just hang out with or just go and do things with, which it sucked. I went huge into gaming just because it made me felt like I had a social life. I had people to hang out with, just spend some time with, and just make memories and all that. After that, I got into another relationship, so this was probably a 2-year span. The relationship that I got into probably lasted 4 months, but it was on and off. We broke up, got together, but in that relationship, I felt alone. I felt like I was with somebody, but it was just awkward, weird. It was a feeling that you just notice and you can feel it, just being in their presence. You just feel alone either way. You're surrounded by tons and tons of people, which you could be surrounded by tons of friends, and you can still feel alone at the end of the day. Deep down, they don't know how you're feeling, or just don't even care or even ask you or anything like that, which it's okay to feel like that. It's something that it takes a lot of thinking on your side, which makes you think about it, but you have to think in positive terms that it's just going to be temporary. You got to use that discomfort as motivation to start improving your life, or just realize, hey, something's wrong. Your mind is telling you this for a reason. It's telling you, hey, you're not feeling okay because you feel isolated, you feel alone. There's probably some underlying reason why that is, and this is a thing with relationships and all that. Honestly, it's hard to get into a relationship, especially in modern day dating, but humans are meant to be social, be interactive, meant to have some sort of company. And it's just what I noticed, because that 4 or 5 month relationship that ended, that was on and off, essentially it ended, and then I went to another period of being alone, and then I got into another relationship. And with this current relationship that I'm in, I noticed that I actually like the company. It's really nice. And the girlfriend that I have now, she's like honestly one of the best girlfriends that I have, very similar to that 5-year relationship. And what I'm trying to get to is people are meant to be in relationships or interact with each other. They're meant to be social. There's like studies done on this, that you're supposed to be social, interactive with other people. And if you've seen like with modern day dating, social media, it's actually made people really antisocial. They're no longer hanging out. Like, if you were to look at the dating statistics, basically like now in today's generation, which I think these statistics are delayed honestly, you have about 63% of men that are single, not even looking for dating or any sort of interactions, which I think social media has honestly done biggest thing damage to that essentially. Then you have tons and tons of other factors that I'm not going to even cover in this video, but I honestly think social media is one of the biggest causes, so that's why I'm mentioning it so much. But essentially, if you're feeling this loneliness, it's because you're meant to be interactive. You're meant to hang out with people. You're supposed to have friend groups. You're supposed to have a relationship, which honestly a relationship is going to be hard to come by, but it is possible. So if you're feeling this discomfort, well, all I gotta say is start leveling up your life, because like the more attractive you become, the more more you're gonna attract into your life essentially. So if you start looking really good, you're gonna start attracting more women into your life. If you start attracting like more money into your life, you start getting that wealth, your financial situation right, well, you're gonna start attracting friends. Of course, there's the saying that when the money's gone, all your friends are going to disappear, which that is some truth for some sort of reason. So just have that in mind, is that when you do get these certain things, people are going to be more drawn to you, but that's because you have more things, which you'll know at the end of the day that, hey, these friends are here for this certain reasons, but it could also attract the right people as well. So it's something that you guys have to give it a chance. It's not like, hey, I'm only going to attract these type of people. It's a possibility that you can attract all kinds of people. Just it opens up more doors for you. So going back with male loneliness, I honestly recommend you guys try getting into a relationship. It's not going to solve all your issues, but essentially it is going to uplift your spirit if it's the right proper relationship. Just because like that 5-year relationship, I can honestly say I didn't feel alone. That 4-5 month-ish relationship that was on and off, I honestly felt alone, but it was because of the person. The relationship that I'm in now currently, I don't feel alone. I actually feel like I have great company. I feel like life is going great, everything's going my way. And then this is also a reference with my buddy, so I was telling him, hey, when you get a girlfriend, it's going to be so different. You're going to be like really attached, you're going to feel happy and all that. And honestly, all I seen him post is him and his chick, which I'm happy for him. So it's something that you guys need to take into consideration, that it's going to be difficult to attract somebody else into your life. It shouldn't be the sole purpose behind it. Also, getting comfortable within your skin, I highly recommend that. Once you get more and more comfortable by being by yourself, it gets a little bit easier. It doesn't solve all the issues, but it gets a little bit easier. The other thing I want to say is stay busy. You probably have too much free time on your hands. So if you're constantly thinking, hey, I'm alone, it's because you're not busy, you're not occupying your mind. But then again, you also want to have enough time to think about, oh, okay, this is where I want to go in this direction with my life. So you want to make sure you have enough time to think to yourself, but not enough time to think about, oh, I feel alone, I feel like I'm by myself, which that may be the situation. But if you occupy your time and you start just moving forward in the right general direction, you should be able to go past that and ignore it. So that is a possibility there too. The other thing you guys can do is getting into friend groups or starting to meet new people. Just go out there and start doing activities that that are related to your hobbies. So whatever hobbies you have out there, just go ahead and see if you can find other people that have similar interest in it, and see if you can make friends with them. It may not always be the case. Like me, when I go to the gym, I know people there in the gym, but I'm not there talking with them or just like keeping a conversation going. I just go there to go and work out. But like if you have something else like painting or like music, you can start a band or whatever it is, whatever your hobby is. I'm just throwing a couple ideas out there that some of you guys may understand or relate to. you can find some sort of social group and just continue with that. The other thing is getting a job. Find a job that's in person. You end up creating a social group, or you start working with other people and you feel really social, especially when you have to interact with other people. I noticed this, like, when I started working my job full time and all that. I noticed, like, hey, I feel a little lonely, but not a whole lot. I only feel lonely when I'm off of work. But then again, it depends if you guys want to work a 40-hour job or whatever you want to do, because there's so many ways of making money in this world. But what I'm just trying to get at is surround yourself by people. When you surround yourself by people, you feel like that loneliness kind of goes away. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Go ahead and drop that like button, and I'll go ahead and catch you guys in the next one.